All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a way of coding that's all about making things simpler, safer, and way more predictable. It's called functional programming. I mean, just think about that for a second. What if your code was as reliable as simple math? That's the huge promise behind functional programming. It's a style that tries to get rid of all the weird surprises and make software just work. So what does that really mean for code to be pure? Let's unpack that. At its heart, functional programming, or FP as you'll hear it called, is really built on two big rules. One, you use pure functions, and two, your data is immutable, which is just a fancy way of saying it can't be changed. This whole approach kind of flips the script. It gets you to focus on the what, the final result you want, instead of getting bogged down in the step-by-step how. And if you remember just one thing from this entire explainer, make it this. This is the golden rule, the core idea that drives everything else. Instead of messing with your original data, you just create a new copy with the changes you need.
Okay, so how do we actually pull this off in the real world? It all boils down to a few key principles, which are kind of like our building blocks for this whole approach.
There are really four main ideas here. First up, pure functions. This just means that if you give a function the same input, you are guaranteed to get the same output every single time. No sneaky side effects. Second, immutability. And there's our mantra again, right? You never change data, you just make new data. Third, we treat functions as values. This sounds weird, but it just means we can pass functions around in our code just like any other piece of data. And finally, you write declarative code. You describe the result you're after and let the system figure out the nitty-gritty details.
Now, all this theory is one thing, but seeing it side by side, that's where the real aha moment happens. Let's look at how this functional mindset actually changes the code you write. Okay, now this is where it really clicks. On the left, we've got the imperative style, the old way, you could say. You see that for loop? It's going through the list and changing each number right where it is. The original list, it's now different forever. Now, look to the right. That's the functional way. It uses a map function. Notice it doesn't touch the original list at all. Nope, it just creates a brand new list with the results. See? The original data is safe and sound. It's predictable. No drama. So we've seen the how, but you might be asking, why go to all this trouble? What's the actual real-world payoff here? This is where we connect the dots to why this really matters.
Well, the payoff is huge. Seriously. Because your functions are pure and predictable, testing and debugging becomes so much easier. You know exactly what a function will do. And because your data never changes, it's way safer for those complex programs where a million things are happening at once. No more stepping on each other's toes. And when you put it all together, it just naturally pushes you to write code that's cleaner and easier to manage.
And you know, this isn't some abstract theory that's just stuck in a computer science textbook. These functional ideas are out there, in the wild, powering a lot of the technology that you and I use every single day.
You'll find FP principles all over the place. They are a massive deal in data processing, especially when you're working with huge amounts of information. They're also key to building back-end systems that are reliable and can handle tons of traffic. And, maybe a bit surprisingly, these ideas are a cornerstone of modern front-end development, shaping the very websites and apps we interact with.
And to put some names to it, data scientists using languages like Python or R lean on functional features all the time. On the back end, you've got languages like Elixir and Haskell that are completely built on these principles. And if you've ever used a modern website, chances are you've used React, a huge front-end library that's deeply influenced by functional programming, especially in how it handles change.
So, when you boil it all down, the crucial point is this. Functional programming isn't so much about learning a specific language. It's about shifting your mindset. It's about a commitment to writing code that's clean, that's clear, and above all, that's predictable. And that brings us right back to that core philosophy, leaving us with a much bigger question to chew on, one that goes way beyond just code. When is creating something entirely new actually better than trying to fix or change what you already have? Thanks for joining us for The Explainer.